My name is Anastasia Galanik, and it's my pleasure to introduce Terry Edwards. Last year, Terry Edwards was inducted into Dodgeville High School's Distinguished Alumni. Terry Edwards spent his 40-year career in the banking industry, working his way up from teller and student loan officer to assistant vice president, business and mortgage loan officer, and branch manager of Dodgeville Bank. Terry was named market manager, in which he oversaw the Dodgeville Bank as well as 5 other branches in Southwest Wisconsin. Terry has always seen the need to give back to the community in which he grew up in and has been a core member of various community organizations. Terry has selflessly worked and succeeded in making our community a better place. Please join me in welcoming Terry Edwards.
Well, good morning, and thank you, Anastasia, and thank you all so much for inviting me and my guests today to your beautiful school. I would like to thank the Distinguished Alumni Committee for their work and for this award. Being here with Dr. Bruno, a lifelong friend, is very special, and I'm truly honored. Other than my 4 years in college, I've lived my entire life in Dodgeville, and I've always been a proud Dodger. But I want to tell you, I've never been prouder of being a Dodger and watching all of you blossom coming out of COVID. What I've seen in the past couple of years with the sports success, the musicals, the plays, the wonderful band and choral concerts, forensics, you name it, Dodgeville High School is excelling at it. Will you do me a favor, give yourselves, your teachers, and your coaches a big hand for making Dodgeville so proud? I was raised in a sports-loving family with my 3 brothers. My mom and dad rarely missed our games or any school event, and had a simple parenting philosophy: show a good example by working hard and give your children unconditional love. The one thing they constantly stressed was do your best. It was not, you have to be the best or you have to win, but just give it everything you got, and no matter what the end result, you should hold your head high. I was not the best scholar, athlete, or musician at Dodgeville High School. I would say I was pretty average in all I did. But the key for me is I tried just about everything. That's the advantage the smaller school gives its students. I didn't have to specialize. In high school, I played 3 sports. I was in the band, choir, and musical, and worked on the student newspaper. I know today you all have even more opportunities to become involved. In fact, your school's website says you have over 50 different extracurricular activities available to you, which is fantastic. I was also blessed with teachers who, no matter what my mood or effort, always worked with me and encouraged me. I remember an atmosphere of positivity at Dodgeville High School, and I still feel like every time I enter this building. 3 teachers in high school who were a great influence on me were my band director, John Minks, my coach, Mr. Dodger, Bob Buck, my typing teacher, Alumni Reynolds. I find it amazing that my band director encouraged me in sport, and my coach encouraged me in music. Mr. Minks led us the numerous superior ratings in music contests, and he could be tough. One day I was messing around a bit in class, and he let me have it pretty good. But later in the day, he sought me out and he apologized for maybe being too tough on me. That a man in his position was not too big to apologize to a student made a huge impression on me. And Mr. Buck taught me to never, ever give up. We could be down 20 points and we weren't good often, but coach wouldn't stop trying to get us back in the game. And Mr. Buck today is facing health challenges, but remains an inspiration every time I talk to him. In Mrs. Reynolds' class, we kept telling her that we would never have to type once we left school. As it turned out, in the computer age, keyboarding has been a tremendously valuable skill, and I thank Mrs. Reynolds for making us stick with it. Mr. Mink's wife, Charlene, who was also a great music teacher for many years in Dodgeville, is here today, along with Mr. Buck and Mrs. Reynolds. Will you give them all a big hand? When I went to college at UW-La Crosse, my classmates from the big cities couldn't believe all the different activities those of us from small schools had experienced. and they were envious of us. I played freshman baseball at lacrosse, then pivoted my junior year and joined the marching chiefs band. We did halftime shows for the Packers and Minnesota Vikings. We marched to the Orange Bowl Parade in Miami and performed at Walt Disney World. I also became a sports editor of the student newspaper. Dodgeville High School prepared me well to have those great experiences in college. I studied journalism and had a dream of being a reporter. When I graduated, the conventional wisdom was that I should immediately try and find a job in my field. So what did I do? Two friends and I chose to go backpacking for the summer in Europe. We visited 11 countries and learned so much by experiencing different lands and cultures. We hiked in the Alps, we swam in the Mediterranean Sea, we saw the Pope at the Vatican, we climbed the towers of Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, and visited other many world-famous attractions and museums. The trip gave me a much better worldview and renewed my interest in history and geography. It also gave me a greater appreciation of my own country. The trade-off from that great experience was when I got back, the job prospects in journalism were scarce. But it's interesting how life works out if you keep your options open. A local banker heard I was looking for work and asked if I would be interested in trying banking. Well, I was intrigued by that, and even though I had no financial background, I took the job as a bank teller, which resulted in a 40-year banking career in that. I found that helping people with their finances was rewarding and fun. In my career, I did just about everything a banker could do, but residential mortgage lending was my favorite part of the job. People are so excited and happy to buy their first home and subsequent homes. It was fun working with realtors, appraisers, and builders to help our customers in Dodgeville thrive. Our customers often became friends, and seeing their families grow and become part of the community brought immense job satisfaction. I also enjoyed business lending, especially helping new businesses get started, like the Culver's restaurant here in town. And the people I worked with became family. Nothing was better than to problem solve with your colleagues and find a way to help our customers. One thing always stressed by my employer was that a banker should be visible and involved in. When I first heard that, my reaction was, how am I going to find the time? Then I discovered a couple of secrets those who get involved in community service realize almost immediately. First, if it's important, you'll find time to do it. And second, when you give back, you benefit as much as the people you're helping. Being a volunteer gives you a sense of purpose and connection. It improves your self-esteem. It's fun to do with friends, and just gives you a great feeling to be part of something good. You keep others doing that, don't you? Soon, the Dodgeville Area Scholarship Foundation will be giving out $47,000 in scholarships to graduates of the class of 2020. There's no better gig than giving away money to students. And our local Kiwanis Club recently approved a $3,000 donation to the Dodger Food Locker. What better feeling can anyone have than knowing they did something to help feed hungry kids? I was asked to share with you today some words of wisdom. First, I would like to say I certainly don't have all the answers. Your journey will be unique. But I will give you a few words that have helped me on life's path. The first is a quote by Benjamin Franklin, which is, "Well done is better than well said." We live in a society where talkers seem to get all the attention. I admire those who roll up their sleeves and actually get something done. I would encourage you to be a doer and not a talker. And I urge you all to live your lives in balance and strive for the three pillars of happiness. Those are pillar number one, be part of a family filled with love in whatever form or shape that is. You can see my family there. I met my wife Penny when she came into the bank to make deposits for her employer. She later became a teacher and taught for 20 years at Ridgeway Elementary School. I know many of you and Mrs. Edwards as your third grade teacher. Could we all give her a big hand? Pillar number two, find an occupation that fulfills you not only financially, but emotionally. You know, your teachers with their education could make a lot more money in the private sector, but they are here working with you for something much more important than just a paycheck. And pillar number three, find a community to be part of and give back to. And you can be part of a community in Dodgeville or New York City. But bottom line, if you just follow the advice of my parents, Bob and Rosemary Edwards, and get up each and every day and vow to do your very best, you'll be just fine. In closing, I have to show off my grandchildren. Jojo and Max. And I would like to again thank all of you, but I also want to thank my family and friends that are here today. I would certainly not be here without the love and support of all of you. And I especially want to thank my wife Penny, my sons Nate and Matt, my brothers Ed, Doug, and my late brother Kurt, all of them Dodgeville High School graduates. I'd like to give a big shout out to my great nephew Jackson Barr for helping me with PowerPoint. Thank you so much, Jackson. Lastly, thank you to Mr. Bradley for nominating me for this award, and thank you to Briscoe Bonzak for his help in preparation for this day. It's a great day to be a Dodger. Thank you very much.
Congratulations again, both Dr. Gurnall and Mr. Edwards. Students, thank you as well for your participation here today. There's a lot of words of wisdom that you can take here or take out of the messages here today. As we prepare the final chapter here with our seniors, we want to thank them for everything they've done this year and look forward to the last couple of weeks. Go Dodgers. You guys can return to your second hour class. Great.